There's no way. It's way too much damage.
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, he gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this scene.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every scene
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello and welcome to the Ori and the Blind Forest Master Seed Generator Gauntlet 2021. Today, SpeedGen is going to be facing both Sirius and Lifdoff at the same time in this exciting best-of-one matchup. My name is Femsis and Pugel is going to be joining me today to cheer on the randomizer for this gigantic challenge. Pugel, how are you doing?
Oh, I am beyond excited. This is going to be... well, every match has been a great match, but this is going to be something especially special. Zem, why are we both so looking forward to this?
So, as some of you might have noticed, Lifdoff had to drop to the tournament, but that doesn't mean Lifdoff is going to stop playing. Instead, we are going to have a show match today. Lifdoff and Sirius are going to be playing Master Co-op, and Master Logic sure is something else compared to the usual seeds we've been seeing this tournament, isn't it, Pugel?
Oh, boy. So, the tournament has been standard logic, which makes sense. It's easy enough for people to follow along, doesn't require anything that's anything too heinous. There's a step above that, which is expert logic, which a lot of our runners will do tricks from, even though they're not required in standard. It's just that a lot of them are things that our runners will know. Master logic is even more ridiculous than that. There are tricks that, yes, some runners will throw into their seeds, throw into what they can do. It will never be required in the tournaments, except for now, because Master Logic can make you do things like swim in dirty water for X amount of things. Master Logic could make you double bash a spider shot to who knows where. Master Logic could expect you to use wall jump for way too many things that shouldn't ever be just used for wall jump. We're about to find out.
Yeah, and that's not even close to the entire extent. You're gonna be seeing double jump being the only wall interaction if our runners are lucky for the first 40 minutes of the scene. You might see a tumbleweed take a trip through the entirety of Sorrow just to check the Sunstone with just bash. But it looks like our runners are about to start the race. So let's wish SpeedGen good luck, because with this caliber of runners, SpeedGen is actually going to be the one who needs the luck here.
Oh, absolutely. And this is really where the whole memes of double jump wall interaction comes into play, because double jump can be absolutely required wall interaction, air quote, for Master Logic. Basically meaning that when you jump away from a wall, when you hit it with double jump, then it will refresh your double jump, and you can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with that double jump in order to refresh that double jump and use it as your way to get up through walls. A little painful on the hands, especially after it's like your only wall interaction for 40 minutes, but it's completely required in Master a lot of the time.
Yes, indeed. And to kinda ease it a little bit for our runners here, this is actually a co-op run. That means all the important stuff, that being the tree activations that our runners need, the dungeon keys, the skills, they are going to be shared between our runners. If one person picks them up, the other one gets it too. Now that does not count for anything like mapstones, keystones, all these minor resources which our runners are going to have to pick up separately. But our runners are able to kind of split up the map as the seed progresses and then do those heavy, hard tricks separately from each other. First thing we already see, the coyote jump, just for some swag at the start, getting in the right mindset. Oh, a bit of spaghetti on Lifdoff side, but Sirius racing ahead. So far it's a normal keystone start, so nothing master quite yet. But Pugel, what do you want to see for your first skill, and why is it double jump?
Well, double jump is just gonna be very nice for our runners to have, again, because wall interaction puts a decent amount of things in logic. For example, you can get the ability cell above this health cell right here with just double jump. Is it heinous? Yes, this is why it's in Master Logic. It's not even the worst thing that could possibly be here. But runners are getting keystones. The nice thing about shared everything, basically, except for resources, keystones, mapstones, is that our runners are going to be able to take 2 separate directions. They're communicating through this whole thing. They're going to say, hey, can you go do this while I go do that? It also means that both runners don't need to know everything. They don't specifically have to know all of what Master Logic can make them do. They can have tricks that they would prefer to do, prefer not to do, and can split them up so that, like, let's say you have to go deal left side, and one of our runners is more comfortable with doing that. They can go do that and get teleporter so that our other runner can go and then do that as well. It's really nice that they can split that up and figure out what to do, what not to do, and what they just don't want to. Because there's a lot of things that this seed could have, but it does look like we're coming up on what is probably our first progression, considering that we don't have much else to do. Sirius is gonna to a save anywhere, looks like, to skip the cutscene for this tree and be able to move as soon as he gets the item or skill or key or whatever it is.
Indeed, Sirius obviously loving that.
Hey, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I just saw?
I'm not sure, Puga. Tell me, what did you see?
Our first skill progression, everyone, is Bash. Now, Bash is particularly interesting in Master Logic because it makes a whole host of enemy lures, specifically Frankie lures. Doable is not a word I really want to use here, but possible is a word that's a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, and Bash only Master, so some people are probably gonna be sad to be seeing Bash, because Bash is just such a powerful skill, basically opens up most of the map by itself. But I am very happy about the kind of shenanigans that our runners are going to be needing to do today. You can do some incredible things with Bash, since there is that double Bash feature in the randomizer deal. Normally it is a 1-frame trick. On the you lose your Bash for 1 frame, and then on the next frame you repress it and you get to choose different angles for yourself and the thing you're bashing. And the randomizer remade that free. And unlike standard logic, Master Logic expects you to abuse that to no end. You can already see Lifdoff grabbing Frankies up here. It takes a quick death, but that won't be too bad. He can retry that. Will get his bash back from the co-op sharing, so those deaths do not matter as much. But those double bash chains sure are things that our runners can do. Can now get up here to then take another Frankie further up, to then break a floor and take another Frankie. Meanwhile, Sirius is going to lure this Frankie to another direction instead, going to the left into Spirit Caverns, as you would normally do in the standard seed, but this time our runners are going to be needing to clear the entire thing.
Yeah, our runners are probably going to do a little bit less of master tricks, a little bit more of tricks you would normally see people do in the tournament, because if you don't have to do certain master tricks, you don't want to. And it's really nice, maybe they'll get maybe some extra health, some extra energy, or wall jump, which is really, really nice, because that means that they have actual wall interaction.
Alright, so far C-Gen has been kind of pulling its punches, just bash and wall jump in a very classic opening here, I would say. But the kind of stuff that you can now do with this, that's a completely separate story. With this, having both wall jump and bash, basically the entire right side of the map is open if our runners want to go that way. Technically this is also already enough for left side, but even in Master we do not want to talk about this. And Lifdoff on the Glades up pickup finds his first water rain shards. Indeed, we are also gonna be playing shards today, which means our dungeon keys are split into different shards. You need 3 out of the 5, or 2 and the teleporter to access the dungeon. And oh, look on the right, Sirius is doing a Frankie walk.
Excellent. Now, Sirius can get away with doing this with only having the 1 energy, because he has 3, and therefore can go into Death Gauntlet, go through here, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a left side play because you can take the valley entry front, use it to stomp the peg, and with bash can get all the way to the feather tree. So that
Yeah,
wouldn't be the worst idea.
I wouldn't mind that either, but there is a blue wall in the way, and our runners would need to take a bailing from Horror Fields all the way over to break that wall. I'm not quite sure if our runners are feeling up to that just
Is that
yet.
in Master Logic?
Don't you worry, that is not in Master Logic, which is why
That's
we're
a
probably
bit
not.
much.
Which is why we're probably not gonna see that quite yet. All lift off in the spike pit. We'll need to reset that. The save is all the way at the entrance, but well, the timer is just them versus the randomizer today. It's still kind of unfortunate to take the death, but not quite as punishing as normally.
Yeah.
Right. On the right, Sirius thinking about whether to glitch the bridge immediately or going to check the adequately named Glide Vault, because Glide has been here 2 times, so obviously the entire area is now called Glide Vault. God, we're so good at names.
Yeah, having bash and not just wall jump makes this so much more bearable. Gets a health cell, that is incredibly important. Health is probably one of the most intensive and necessary resources for Master Logic because of all of the damage boosts, continual damage boosts, mind you, that it insists on making you do. So Lifdoff, starting us off with a double bash chain to somewhere. Is this because he fell down or because he's taking this all the way back up?
I think this is technically faster than Eldaring, just grabbing this plane shot and coming back up. So he's just saying, hey, let's already get into the rhythm of what I need to do during the entirety of the seed. We're taking this plane shot and flying upwards, and that's the reason why those double bashes are so strong and important in this kind of logic set. Also, as you alluded to, health is an extremely important resource in Master Logic. Damage boosts to any amount can be required, including just 13 HP poison water swims. And as a reminder, resources are not shared in this co-op, so our runners will need to keep track of where their health sets are, because it is totally possible that they're gonna need every single one of them.
Speaking of health cells, getting a mega health is incredibly important to do even sillier things. Just having that extra health again is nice. Already, looks like, did Sirius get a mega energy or is Sirius just on 5 energy?
I think that's just really a lot of energy in this scene. We already saw 3. And Sirius, oh, I love this. Sirius says, so it's kind of boring to open the 4 energy door with my 5 energy. Instead goes for the rock slide and gets it first try without any problem. Nicely done, Sirius. That was very impressive here. Doesn't get too much in the Grotto Vault, but that's a statement if I've ever seen one.
That was excellent. As you said, trees are shared. Lifdoff has activated the dash tree for the team. I'm gonna keep going down through Blackroot as Sirius is going through Grotto. And, we might not see our next skill for a while with this set.
Yeah, that is true. Our runners are kinda getting a lot of resources. It's totally possible that the randomizer is saying, yeah, we're just gonna get you all the way up to 8 health, and then you go swim at Buttercell or something similarly of difficulty, or just shenanigans that the randomizer is doing right now. And Bash in Master Logic, that opens up everything on the right side of the map, right? And with our 4 energy being in Logic, that right side is actually in Logic too. So our runners can go wherever they want and do basically whatever they want right now.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I mean, I Lifdoff on the left, getting one framed by the Crusher. For some reason, those few pixels just decide to be more lethal than others. Thanks Moon for that. Takes a quick death there, not much of a problem. Now finishes out the boulder area. Now, unlike what you might expect, using that Frankie is one of the few things that even Master does not expect of you, because there's still one overarching thing with Master. It will still prevent soft locks, and that Frankie doesn't respawn, so you don't get to use him in Master logic. What you do get to use, however, is the Spider Shot in Blackroot to break the floor you would normally lure the Frankie to. So not much gained there on the amount of powers, but at least we get to save Frankie lives.
Sirius has gotten rid of the Mortar Worm, has a bunch of Keystones. Liftoff is back in Glades. Let's see where our runners decided to go next. Looks like Liftoff is going to go further into Glades, maybe up towards the Charge Flame tree. Sirius looks like he's heading down towards the double jump tree. Oh no, I take that back. Liftoff is going to use that Mega Health. Really good decision. Check what this energy cell is. It is just a keystone. He's going to Alt-R out, though, and save it, because sometimes having keystones is almost too nice.
Yeah, and if Liftoff is going to go to the Charge Flame tree, he would probably be pretty happy to only have to key you once, but it looks like instead Liftoff is heading over to the Blackroot teleporter, either to join Sirius in Grotto or to go further down. Oh, no, wait, the Grotto, not the Blackroot teleporter. Hey, I can think. Liftoff is instead going up and has that bash, and there's a helpful spider right here, and he can take that spider shot to a lot of places, one of them being this XP right here. Doesn't get it on the first try, but can just retry immediately. This kind of double bash chain is one that you're probably gonna be seeing a lot in this kind of seed, and so far it's been a mapstone. I would think he wants to keep that. Yeah, the way back, obviously a lot easier to get than the way there. Can just jump over, and with this, Liftoff is now heading up into the maybe turning around for the Swamp Drain area. There's one more XP, or grabbing this. Oh, I love this. Are we gonna see an Iceless check maybe even with this?
I could definitely see that, yeah. So there's two ways of, dealing with this pickup we like to call Iceless. There is doing the trick of jumping at it from below next to the map pedestal, or you can just, take a spider shot with Bash, because that is so much more reasonable.
Yes, indeed it is, and Liftoff does that without a problem, just grabs the spider shot. Now will take a quick death to get respawn invulnerability, therefore allowing him to preserve all his health into the spider area. Gets struck by Stein, targeting the plant instead of the map pedestal, because that's just what Stein does sometimes. Now decides that's nothing important, is going to instead Alt-R out and head over into the Swamp Loop, while Sirius with activated Save Anywhere is starting his own double bash chains all over Grotto.
That he is. Let's see. So Liftoff is looking. Liftoff is going to the right. Could be heading into Swamp, maybe.
Yeah, I would assume one of the two might even be going all the way to Storm Tree right now, while the other one clears. And Sirius can either, will head over to this area too. And unlike Liftoff, the fact that he has a save anywhere up makes me think he wants to do Kuro cutscene blind movement. Yes, indeed. Will kill this ability right here, which allows him to now move with this thing open. Sadly, all the bounce pads are not going to be there during that, but the other stuff is, so he can make some leeway while the cutscene plays out. And Liftoff setting up for something kind of brutal. Alright, never mind, does not wanna go for it. You can use the exploding swarm to get some extra height off your bash if you really want to. You can also take a mortar shot or do one of a million other shenanigans. And Sirius, taking that Frankie up with some double bashes, gets the broken horror teleporter.
Excellent. So our runners are going to need 2 horror shards, so 2 shards of the Sunstone in order to make that teleporter work. But once they do, they can go into Horu and do a whole bunch of, well, other things. Other things means a lot. There's not much to say. There's way too much that our runners are capable of right now, because Bash is a power skill, and one of the most powerful skills that you can have is Mortar Worm shots, for example. Liftoff has basically just cleared this area just with the mortar worm shots.
Indeed,
Getting 130
he has.
experience for his trouble.
Yeah, that's kind of the story with the seed, right? Doing all these crazy double bash chains, but there's just so many of them possible right now. The siege gen has only been throwing health at them, and if I was one of our runners, I would be getting extremely scared. Seeing this much health in a master seed, it's going to require you to use that at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Have our runners, like, since you said everything's shared, they're just gonna go take 2 diverging paths, do a whole bunch more checks, make things a little more efficient. Liftoff is gonna, looks like, in the swamp. If Frog, thank you, Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo being about as cooperative as he is in the speedruns. You can use this proc shot with a certain chain that Liftoff is showing off right now to break that ceiling, which gives you access to Inner Swamp, and you might be noticing, oh, that's a lot of water here in the swamp area, and one of our runners is already on 9 HP, so that could totally be a thing that our runners are required to do soon.
Oh yeah. That is certainly potential for things. Now, with Sirius taking a bit of a death there, gonna have to move this rock again, getting a little trolled by the elementals, just not wanting to let him push the rock. But is gonna go down and check what this ability cell is in this portion of Horror Fields. Can get there because it has a little friend going with him. Is decides the frog he has decided to come and play.
Indeed.
And I think he's going to use that to his advantage and just take the Frankie with him.
I love this. I've never seen someone use the Frankie for this path. That's honestly an incredible adaptation right here from Sirius. That will allow him to cross this incredibly dangerous... Oh no, the drop slime! No, you need to shoot that with sign! Oh, the drop slime trolling Sirius. Even with his Frankie buddy, there is an acid pool right there. Will not make it through on this attempt, but who knows, maybe he'll go for it again because, hey, it's Master Logic, and we all love terrible strats in Master Logic. Meanwhile, Liftoff on the left realizes he doesn't have the health to do what he wanted to do, instead has to double bash the mortar chain off. That's not a problem for him though. With this, he will be reaching another tree and can get some more pickups in this area.
Ooh, Sirius deciding to just take the, he's gonna take the elemental shot all the way over. Really nice to do, especially when you don't have a lot of aerial movement to get through this area. Gets clean water from his teammate Liftoff in the swamp, so we don't even have to worry about any form of swimming, which is really nice, but it also makes me a little concerned as to what the water means. Since we have clean water, it makes me a little concerned as to what the seed wants us to use all of that help for.
Indeed, that is a bit concerning for me. Since our runners have Bash, it can't really be Horu, since with Bash you kinda get to skip all the damage boosting over there. However, we do get some Sunstone shots, so Horu is now open for our runners to explore whenever they wish. I'm sure they are gonna be very happy about doing Bash wall jump Horu in the moment. That just sounds like a joy, doesn't it?
Well, it is certainly a thing that can be done. I don't know when they're gonna go do it, but it might not be for a bit, and that's understandable. There we go, Sirius getting... Oh, okay. Grabbing the slime, just getting the keystone for his trouble, but getting through that. Because that is not water, that is acid, and it will kill you if you touch it.
Indeed, that very nicely done, you Sirius. And oh look, oh my god, if this is going to work, I absolutely loved it. Liftoff on 1 HP is trying to get that fish out of the water around 3 corners to bash it up to the swamp drain XP. That's That sure is another path that utilizes both that bash and that clean water in some pretty interesting way. So the difficulty with lures like this is our enemies and ourselves both have very limited HP. When Lifdoff showing off what he can do and gets a Gumon Seal Shard for his team out of the trouble. And since this is co-op, you do not need to survive to keep it. So GG Lifdoff, very well done.
That was excellent. Funny thing though, the fish apparently did not die to those spikes. Which was good, because if the fish died, there would be a sad thing. Ooh! Swamp is also having a lot of stuff. Had a Sunstone Shard, has the broken Ginso teleporter, one more Water Vein Shard, and they also have access to Ginso, which is really nice. And, okay, Swamp just has everything! That's all 3 Sunstone Shards they need to go in through the front of Horu.
Yeah, but that also means I would assume the last shards are nearby, so I guess we are gonna see some horror soon in this seed, since honestly, even with Master Logic, unless our runners suddenly decide they are even more crazy than they already are for playing this and grabbing Banelings all the way over half the map, we're running out of a lot of checks to do. We basically have the lower parts of Blackroot left, which you can access either via Fronky or Spider, and we have all that Horu that just got unlocked and probably will fall into Logic relatively soon, since we have most of the shards already.
Seriously, considering that left side, they still can't get to right now. They don't have a left side teleporter, they don't have any way of breaking the blue wall leading into the valley entrance. As soon as they get that, the entirety of left side is accessible to them. Except for Forlorn, because they don't have all 3 Gumon Seal Shards. But they do have double jump on... Goodness, was that Mapstone 4?
Indeed, it was. Oh, and Mapstone progression gets even more fun in co-op, since, as mentioned, resources don't share. That includes Mapstones and Mapstone turn-ins, so... One of the runners says, oh, I love this on the right. Sirius did not go to Boulder Escape by himself. Instead, he got the Blackroot teleporter from Liftoff. That means the bump is still there. And once he goes to the left, that boulder will still fall. So that's just one of the kind of caveats of playing co-op. This kind of stuff can and will happen from time to time. Nothing too major. But our runners now having double jump. I'm not even sure if this really unlocks anything for them. It's more of a comfort thing. But
it makes paths suck a little bit less, which is important.
Yeah, that's true. But emphasis on a little. But Fugel, what do you think about that charge jump locked XP near wall jump tree right now?
I try not to. Let's put it that way. I try not to.
Just saying.
So what Zem is going on about is that one of the master lures that you can do is you can take the Frankie from above that little S-bend going down to see the wall jump tree, and you can get it down there with Bash, so that you can bash off of it to get that experience. And it's a time, because you can't screw up. You screw up even once, you can only bash it twice, because you need that 3rd bash, so you can get up there. It can't hit the spikes. If it hits that, it dies. It can't. It's just. It is a thing.
Yeah, it sure is. And so far, they have been doing very fine with skipping them. And this kind of an area where you can at least use some of your health. Funnily enough, not talking about Horror here, instead talking about Blackroot on the right. There are some fun paths. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
In L4? I love this! This is great!
So there's one pickup that our runners can get in L4. It's that one. The other ones require Stomp, which we now have.
Yeah,
that is an excellent place for it.
It is, but I would be scared. We're nearing what you would call a go mode in Master, aren't we? With this, our runners can basically get everything on the map that's not grenade locked. So, yeah, things are looking a bit scary at this point.
Considering that they have access to left side now, yeah, they can get all 10 trees aside from the Ginso tree. And unless the water vein shards are all locked behind blue plant breakage or grenade locked, which means our runners will have to go looking for that sort of thing, they can basically get anywhere they damn well please.
Indeed they can, and Liftoff is already heading in that direction. Meanwhile, Sirius does not want to zombie here, and I love this. So Sirius is actually setting up for a, you would have guessed it, master path where you jump in the little ceiling nook that you can see there and use your double jump to air stall, therefore jumping over the laser and saving some ability points. I almost got it on that attempt. This is precise, and that's exactly why we love it. And he's through, indeed. GG Sirius, that will save some points. And looking at his ability set points count, he can really use anything he can get. And look what we found here. It is a sunstone shard, indeed. So, as I thought earlier, those ran close by. That storm also now. Oh no, dice to the laser. Please tell me you saved. Okay, Sirius did save indeed before. So he can now head all the way up and then go get his grenade tree right here. Meanwhile, Liftoff going all the way back to the wall jump tree. No pickup left behind. There's an energy cell to the left, and I'm pretty sure he just wants to grab that real quick.
Yeah, maybe trying to make sure that they don't have to do the lore I described earlier. This energy cell is going to be 45 experience, so nothing that they super duper need. What is going to be on the grenade tree? It is the extra sunstone shard. It would not surprise me that now, considering that, you know, that's all of them, that they go into horror.
Yeah, and they already went into horror, right? They found their stomp in horror, so I would assume our runners are now gonna be looking for things very soon that require that stomp. Just because of the way Master works, it also has the staffed variation, which basically means your seats are going to be a bit more linear than you may be used to from the classic flags. That means if you find a skill, the next thing you find is probably, not always, but probably gonna need that skill. And Stomp has unlocked quite a bit. Not only all those things which are just locked by Stomp, packs and similar, but also, as you alluded to, we have left side access. We can stomp the blue wall and then head over into Valley, and from there on do everything we want to on the left side of the map.
Oh, we absolutely can. And it does look like Liftoff is going to head up towards that area, probably going to get the Charge Flame Tree on his way, and then after that, go over to the left, start getting left side access. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see any of those, like, fun Frankie things of using a Frankie to stomp the peg, or having to do very silly, fast, stompless things, like grenade redirects, which is kind of odd, because we still don't have a grenade.
Indeed, and on the left side we can see Liftoff actually watching this cutscene. This has a nice side effect. Remember, this is co-op, and our runners share teleporter activations, and one thing you do not get if you skip this cutscene is the teleporter. If you watch it, your co-op partner is gonna get it. But eyes on the right, Sirius is doing a safe drop with Stomp, which allows him to walk here and just stomp through this blue floor too. Very nicely done. That was found just about a week ago, that you could just do that with Stomp, and it's always nice to see. Now get
Yes! He went back for the Gumon Seal Shard. I'm so happy.
Yeah, gets it, but it gets deduped. We picked it up earlier. This is co-op. You get to keep your stuff on dev, and so he got his third shot for just a second, only for the randomizer to say, "Wait, you already have that one. Give that back." And then Steegen took it back, and our runners are back to just 2 shots.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, because you can take that frog right there, and you know, if they didn't have Stomp, that frog can be stolen to go down to the Forlorn approach. Because frogs and Frankies are our friends, and we get them to do things for us in this game. That and fish.
Indeed we do, and it looks like Liftoff is heading over. I wonder if we're gonna see some Stormless variant, or if he's just gonna do it the normal way. Both work at this point. The hard part... Yeah, that's true. We have so many options here, and none of them are particularly hard. The interesting thing comes for what's after that Sorrow Bash that runners oftentimes do. Of course, it's in Logic, and once we're in Sorrow, what's in Logic? Everything. We have Bash, we have a Tumbleweed, we can go wherever we want.
I think the only thing that would limit our runners to some capacity would be the amount of keystones they have, and, well, you can use a tumbleweed to dupe the keystones, it's fine.
Indeed it is, and our runner's getting another tree here on the charge frame tree, and in addition to that, finding wind restored here. That is super nice. If only we had glide, but we don't, so it doesn't do anything for us right now. Liftoff going over here. Will he stomp the rocks immediately? Nope, we are going to the left first. Let's see, yeah, just luring a bird over, that will give us one extra check right here at the above Wilhelm XP before we then stomp the rocks and get that. It's just experience here too, nothing too much. So as a bunch of rocks fall on Kurasat, as Sirius now goes and looks a bit more into the depths of Mount Haru.
Well, considering they can do, well, just about everything. Aside from, like, plants and grenade lock pickups, there's not much our runners will... not much they can't do. Okay, and then Ginso, but, well, we can't get there yet either.
Oh, and I love this. Is Sirius just waiting for a Valley TP? Yep, there's Valley TP. Alright, Sirius is joining. Just sitting here in Mount Haru waiting for his teammate to go get the TP. Yeah, that's what you can do. The one sad thing is he doesn't have any way to skip this kill plane cutscene, so he gets to watch it and then go the way around instead of going into the kill plane, unless he wants to do some weird 4 save anywhere hyper speed kill plane skip shenanigans. I don't think that's what we're going to see. Yeah, we're going to see the reasonable play of going around and then going somewhere from there. But eyes on the left, Liftoff is setting up for Sorrow double bash, where you take this this friend, our bird, takes the death to the bird, but levels up from it. Everything is fine. Can just do another attempt with the left bird and get the bird to carry you into Sorrow. Now, normally we would just ride the bird as in other games, but we don't have that ability, so we're bashing it instead.
Yeah, it looks like Sirius is gonna do the fast stompless method of taking a shot and letting that do the work for him. Gets the cell. Since he's going back down, he might be going down into... not into Sorrow. Liftoff is going up into Sorrow. Sirius might be going down into Misty.
Yeah, Misty is an option here, and except for that grenade lock pickup, I believe our runners can do whatever they want there. The other option is to say, hey, what about we just find another Gumon Seal shard and go straight to Fallout, because that's the best place to be, right?
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, Liftoff getting through that Sorrow bash and is now into Sorrow, and you see how that poor bird is carrying Liftoff all the way up. We're going to see a lot of that very soon, because you can do just about anything here in Sorrow if you're willing to bash enough things. And in case of a Master Seed, it's not if you're willing, but you just have to do it. Finds a water rain shard, that gives us Ginso access, so our runners technically have everything they need to finish the seed, I think. But on the other hand, there's some trees to get, and one of them involves some double bashing right here.
Oh yeah, so this is one of the ways you can get up into Sorrow. You can take this mortar worm shot, take it very carefully around this wooden platform, go all the way up here, double bash, 1, 2, 3, get this pickup on this keystone, and get through this ceiling, floor thing. Either way. Point is, it's broken now.
Indeed, it is very nicely done, and now comes the fun part. Sure, we've broken the ceiling. Well, we need to go further up, and at the top there, that's a lot of nasty spikes. Every single spike dealing 4 damage, and we have a few options to do that. One is a tumbleweed, the other is the most crazy frog double bash chain you've seen in your life. There's of course always zombies. In this case we are going to see some region as Liftoff was thinking, and up we go, frog double bash chain. It is next a quick death which respawned the other frog just from being off screen for a bit, and he immediately realized, hey, my respawn timer has run out, I can just climb down, climb back up, and my frog is going to be back. And now we go. So there is a trick called Crazy Juggle in some of the routes where you do this with a bit of a skill set with more skills than just bash. Instead we're going to do it with just bash, getting this frog all the way up, and then maybe breaking the next ceiling while we're at it, and then let's see what Liftoff wants to do after that, as Sirius is heading over to his climb tree.
Alright, Liftoff is up and away through the spikes that he can't use to climb up the wall, and is up the wall now.
Alright, and remember, Liftoff does not have triple jump skill yet. This fleet has been incredibly rude and stingy with those resources. Does not want to give any of them to our runners. And yeah, Liftoff noticed that immediately backs up and save, because we are gonna be going into zombies now. Luckily enough, that's a lot of ability sets, and we can use all of them right now.
That we can. The interesting thing is that Sirius is the one with all the health. Unfortunately, Sirius is not the one in sorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Sirius is also starting to skip pickup. Sirius is just going. Which does make sense. Oh goodness, Liftoff, this is not a good time right now, because like, that's a kind of an awful place to be able to get up. Oh, come on. Oh no.
Yeah, this is exactly why you make a backup save before this. These spikes can be incredibly rude, and knockback management and all these saves. A lot of things can happen here. You can take spike knockback before you save anywhere, which will then hyper speed you away from the wall when you respawn. Yep, that's a thing the game likes to do to our runners. But also there's just sometimes unlucky save positions, and in these cases, that's what happened here. There's a water vein shard right here. We do not need to keep that since it's co-op, so that's nice. Now needs to hit his respawn jump timing again that he got at the first attempt here. He isn't too long on this wall. Alright, gets that. Now resaves again and again. Will need to get over this wall with these saves. Can barely make it over this. Close to running out of ability points, but we are still fine. We are good indeed. Just one more, and there's the door, and we have enough keystones. GG Liftoff, nicely done through Sorrow.
Oh, that was excellent. That was 11 ability points that he spent to get all the way through Sorrow to his last tree, mind you. Our runners have all 10 trees.
Yes, and it looks like they are saying, hey, 10 trees, bash? That sounds like a go mode. And Sirius, after doing some bailing shenanigans while waiting for time, is now going to the door, gets his door up on the third try, and is going over into the final escape momentarily. Meanwhile, Liftoff also teleporting, and Sirius just a bit of friendly waiting here in front of the door. Can now get up, and well, it's not the hardest final escape, but I wouldn't call this easy by any stretch either.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's true. We just need we need to hit a micro ledge on the wall in the elemental room, and then we're gonna need to do a few double bashes, a few more of those, get the fish through the non-Kuro spawning area. That's gonna be a fun time, right? And Sirius is waiting on the final escape for his friend here. It's so nice. Liftoff just having a bit of trouble with that door warp. Remember, if door warp fails on the first time, it only gets harder, because that's how loading works in this game, and door warp is a load time dependent trick, because that's the kind of fun we have in this game. So Liftoff either has to just keep hitting up here, or at some point might choose to opt for violence, and
is opting to choose for violence. Yep. So the way you're supposed to get down here is by using the shots and also stomp and literally anything else at your disposal to dispose of this worm.
And there is the skip that we saw Sirius doing there, where you can do things. And Liftoff decides, actually, 6 HP, I don't want to deal with this thing, which deals that much damage. We're going back into Door Warp.
There
And
we go.
indeed, it wasn't actually a violence attempt. This was just him venting some frustrations with the seed there. Killing that and then going back to Dorwap, gets that, and it looks like both of our runners are ready to start the final escape. And let's see, I think with this synchronization it will come down to execution in the final escape, won't it?
I suppose you're right. This final escape isn't actually that. Oh my god!
Welcome to Master, everybody! There is the charge jump of the siege right here on Warmth Return. That is just how stuff be sometimes, but this will give our runners quite an easy escape. Off we are through the lantern room, and Sirius has 1,000,000 HP and can just stomp into the fire, and Liftoff will do the same, but has to get up really quickly afterwards. Will need another attempt there. Sirius, meanwhile, in the S room, gets through there without a problem. Will now stomp into the water. Kuro swooping above, and now Sirius can technically skip the fish because he has charge jump. But no, we are seeing fish threats, and let's see if we can get them precisely there. Nope, Kuro has spawned there. There's a... Oh my god, there's a rock there. Alright, never mind. We're getting through. GG Sirius getting through this area. Meanwhile, Liftoff on the left has broken his wall into the double bash chain through the elemental room. There's a timer ticking, but that's not a problem. Gets through this room, but cannot afford to take any more damage. Almost gets trolled by his coyote frames on the S room, but luckily recovers. Oh my god, the ceiling barely makes it below Kuro now into the... Oh no, the fish out for blood. Eats Liftoff alive, and we're off to another round.
With charge jump, it does make our escape actually a little bit easier. Which, not that our runners need it, but it's just real nice to have. I'm gonna go through the escape around the lava pillar, bashing. Gonna wait for the lava pillar to go back down. See how he gets through the elemental room this time. I'm gonna stomp through this floor, have to stomp again, immediately get back up. Grabs the elemental shot, isn't going to double bash this time, has the chance to just grab another shot and go. Gets through there, now into the S-bend room. Falls over the first time, refreshes it next to the mortar worm, and is down into the fish. Hopefully the fish do not absolutely murder him, as they kind of tend to do people sometimes. Grabs the fish, is going to go out. He's going to take the fish with him. Yes, he is. He's going to take the fish. Does he not spawn? Does avoid the Kuro spawn, too. That's real nice.
Yes, indeed, gets over the Kuro spawn trigger, and with this, the rest is just a battle of him versus Sigma, and Sigma's favorite weapon, the rocks. But GG Liftoff also finishing. Sirius, meanwhile, has just been waiting and jumping around. We're gonna get a photo finish, and both of our runners have said, hey, charge jump, that's nice and all, but we don't want it. That stays there. I haven't used that for the escape at all. Nicely done. Yeah, that's how Master Seeds go. A lot of, if you get bash early, a lot of double bashing throughout the entire seed, just brute forcing your way into the tree areas through all these spikes. Has been a bit nice with the location of the water rain shards, not gonna lie. And bash is always a great skill to have, and our runners have really utilized that to the best it was possible, finishing this master seed in under 50 minutes. Kuro is swooping down for liftoff now. It is just a bit of holding right, a bit of optimization for both of our runners as the camera pans over to Naru, the lock forwards, and Sirius. No early starting here, Sirius. You still gotta wait. Alright, and here we go. Off to the Naru hops. GG, finishing at about 45-50.
That is... I cannot begin to just explain how difficult that sort of thing is that our runners managed to do. Taking on a master level seed of logic and just smashing it. Absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, indeed. This was really just cleanly played down from our runners, and both of our runners are actually also already ready for an interview. Hey, GG, you two, you just destroyed that seed. Didn't have a single chance.
Yeah.
That
We
was
were-
a tight seat, though.
You are.
Alright, so questions from me. Let's talk a bit about early game. So you got a bash and a million health early. Were you scared about what the seed wanted for you to do before you finally got that Climata at any point?
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for Sirius, but I was scared about the fact of having to do the lure down to wall jump tree. That one was like always in the back of my head. And yeah, that was like the scariest part, I guess. But we got wall jump pretty quickly, which alleviated most of my fears of having to go like through the entire seat without finding any way to interact with walls. And at the end, it was a pretty comfortable skill set. Could have done with more health, but yeah.
That is how it went for me as well. It was definitely scary. Bash only can force some pretty difficult things upon you, but with wall jump, there's so many more options where it can send you that you're usually safe, and yeah, that's how it went. Although, honestly, also a bit disappointing, isn't it? We didn't get to show off the true power of Master Seeds today.
Yeah, definitely.
So thoughts on that final escape pickup?
Charge jump, was it? Yeah, I didn't actually end up using that much, did I? But I don't think it actually helps in the final room, because I think you need at least triple jump to get around the bend there. So it didn't actually do that much. I mean, it's always going to be a skill in Master, right? I've played I think 2 Master Seeds in my life that didn't have a skill on the final escape, but something like Dash would have probably had a bigger impact. I don't know.
Yeah, that was that was the most useless charge jump I've ever found. I'm not sure how often I've seen a situation where I would have had a lot of other skills much rather than charge jump, but that's what it was.
True, at this point, basically any other skill would have actually helped you more than the last skill of the game. Funny how that can be sometimes. So Gomos are always a thing to talk about, and in this case it was a master scene. When did you guys say it was time to go? Was it already at Storm? Was it the double jump, or when did you think, alright, we can just finish this out now?
Well, ultimately it was the water vein shard, because as long as you're still missing shards, which you have no way of tracking down, you want to collect all the pickups on the way, because the shards could be anywhere. So it was the second water vein shard which unlocked the teleporter when we both said, okay, now we skip pickups, finish the game.
Yeah, pretty much that. And skill-wise, I think we were fairly comfortable the moment we found Stomp, because that allowed us to break walls in the final escape. And wall jump, double jump, bash is basically all you need in terms of mobility to get everywhere. So we were just looking for something to break walls in the escape, and Stomp fit that bill. So once I picked that up, I think we would have liked more skills, but both of us were comfortable doing the escape at that point.
Yep, I think I actually don't have that many questions today, because you just played that seed so well, just straight up breezed through this master seed as if it was any other seed, so there isn't that much to talk about. I have one extra question for you, Sirius, though. So next Saturday, there's going to be Try Tonight and the person facing off for the chance to play you in the best of 3. Any thoughts on who you wanna face, who you think you'll face, or the continued playing state of this tournament series?
I don't usually talk about who I wanna face because it's a weird dynamic, as though I would prefer one player, but I do have to say that I would really like to face Tritonite because I just enjoy playing really strong players, in particular stronger players, and the challenge that they are to race against.
It's entirely fair, Sirius. So, Liftoff, Sirius, thank you so much for doing this showcase for you, for us, Liftoff, you, especially for taking the time for this. And Sirius, good luck on your further tournament matches. With that, that's it for this showcase today. Thanks to Appletree on the restream, to Fox and Skull on the track, and of course also to you, Poogle, for commentating with me.
Oh, it is always an absolute delight. For everyone who is watching, thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day and night or whatever time zone you may be in.